As part of our participation in Rhode Island Civic Learning Week 2023, Rhode Island's Commission for National and Community Service, named ServeRI, has recorded this video to introduce educators and families to student service learning. This is the second of 3 videos in a series. Our goal in this video is to answer the question, where do we find service learning in Rhode Island schools? And of course, we hope the ideas and examples here will start you thinking about how service learning could benefit your school or youth program. The Rhode Island legislature recognizes the importance of service learning and fostering active community engagement among young people. You can find service learning in the Rhode Island Board of Education Act, and that's a promising beginning. We'd like to see what else we can find in Rhode Island. My name is Adam Donaldson. Introduce myself. I work at the Island Department of Education to manage ServeRI and promote volunteer service opportunities for all Rhode Islanders. And I'm joined by...
Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Lynch, and I'm the Prepare RI Ambassador for Youth Service at the Rhode Island Department of Education. Okay. So at the end of this module, our goal is that participants will gain a deeper understanding of how service learning is defined, why it is valuable, and how it fits into the Rhode Island education system. We also hope that you will understand how Rhode Island schools and youth-led organizations have facilitated service learning, and that participants will recognize how service learning can be a way for students to engage in work-based learning. So we define service learning as a program or project which combines community service with an outside organization with a structured opportunity for reflection about that service, emphasizing the connections between service experiences and academic learning. While there is no universal definition for service learning, what remains constant is that service learning is an approach to teaching and learning that is student-led and fosters the application of academic learning to address community challenges in collaboration with a partner organization. Service learning frameworks and distinctions between other teaching strategies will be discussed later in the presentation.
There are a number of ways that service learning aligns with the Rhode Island education system. These include the ability to meet proficiency requirements with a service learning project, work-based learning initiatives, social emotional learning, civics education, and global citizenship education. We're going to get into some more specific examples. Rhode Island has a proficiency-based graduation requirements whereby proficiency is defined as a level of knowledge and skills that are expected to be learned, signaling that a student is well prepared to progress to the next lesson, the next grade level, or to receive a diploma. And local school districts can incorporate service learning projects as a demonstration of proficiency for any academic subject or graduation requirement if they so choose. And this is really important for providing flexible and multiple pathways for Rhode Island students to achieve their goals.
So we wanted to highlight an example of service learning in a Rhode Island school. So students at Juanita Sanchez Educational Complex were taking a class with Roger Williams University, which was part of their community development pathway. And out of that course and in partnership with the Generation Citizen, they engaged in a service learning project and in which they developed their own nonprofit organization called JSEC Goods, with a mission here on the slide to address hunger needs for JSEC students and families. So as part of the project, they first did a needs assessment and determined by exploring the issue of food insecurity, they determined that there was hunger needs among the JSEC community. So what they did was partnered with different community organizations to collect non-perishable goods as a service component. The learning component, as I mentioned, was examining root causes of food insecurity. And out of this, examining the root causes of food insecurity, and in partnership with Generation Citizen, the outcome was the development of and the creation of JSEC Goods nonprofit organization. So according to ServeRI's work-based learning implementation toolkit, work-based learning is a planned, structured learning experience that provides youth ages 14 to 24 in school or out of school with real life or simulated work experiences where they can develop and apply academic, technical, and essential skills and contribute to the achievement of their post-secondary and employment goals. Service learning is one of the 5 types of work-based experiences. And here on the slide, we provided a link to access the work-based learning implementation toolkit. So here is another example of a service learning project. This one was done with PVD Young Makers, which is a program that provides youth with access to digital tools. And this is a great example of how service learning can take place outside the classroom in the form of an after-school program in out-of-school time. And this is an example of a service learning project done by a PVD Young Maker, in which the student partnered with the Neighborhood Planting Project, the PVD Office of Sustainability, and the Seed Library Project to develop skills to be a certified arborist for the city of Providence. So as I mentioned, PVD Young Makers is a really great example of how service learning can take place within a youth-led organization outside of school. And PVD Young Makers, they take a design approach to service learning. Here is a testimonial from a PVD Young Maker student that highlights the positive impact that service learning has on students' civic knowledge, skills, and community engagement. And again, this is a great example of how service learning can take place outside of the classroom as part of an after-school program within youth organizations such as PVD Young Makers.
When planning outcomes for a service learning project, one of the targets you might identify for outcomes are social emotional learning goals. Service learning can foster social emotional learning by helping students develop self-awareness, conflict resolution skills in their project planning, building empathy for others. SEL skills, social emotional learning, can be developed or reinforced in the real world problem solving through these service learning projects. I'd like to highlight that the Rhode Island Department of Education has social emotional learning standards, including social awareness, which is defined with 3E. I contribute productively to my school, family, workplace, and community.
So here's a student testimonial by Casey Estevez, who at the time was a student at Juanita Sanchez Educational Complex, involved with the development of JSEC Goods in partnership with Generation Citizen. In the testimonial, Casey reflects on how ideas learned from the partnership with Generation Citizen while she was a student at JSEC, supported her professional and personal growth, and empowered her class to put ideas into action to create JSEC goods. This testimonial really reinforces how service learning can be a really powerful and effective way to help students develop skills of leadership, collaboration, and critical thinking. So Rhode Island's vision for student success aligns with service learning and also fosters global citizenship, which is a topic of focus in Module 3. RIDE creates opportunities for students to think critically and collaboratively, helping to develop globally competent learners, which again is very much aligned with service learning. This is 2 of 3 recorded presentations in 2023. If you are interested in learning more about youth service in Rhode Island and accessing service learning resources, please visit www.serverrhodeisland.com/youth-service. And we wanted to acknowledge our wonderful community partners who contributed to our service learning toolkit: Juanita Sanchez Educational Complex, Generation Citizen, ServeRI, AmeriCorps Rhode Island Department of Education, Fab Newport, PVD Young Makers, and PrepareRI. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you in Module 3.